Reggae interviews. Word sound power.
This is DJ 745 here for Reggae interviews with a band that are creating a storm wherever they go. Their trademark sound fuses reggae, blues, electronic, funk and soul, and they hail from New Zealand. They're here in the UK all the way from New Zealand for their debut shows. A warm welcome to L.A.B.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So, how are we all doing today, guys?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Good to be here in the UK.
Enjoying London, man. Yeah, we've actually had some downtime here, which is really nice. So we've all got to go out and explore the city a bit. It's been really cool.
Fantastic. So, first of all, it's a real honour to sit down and talk to you because, you know, it's a first for me. I have never spoken to a band from New Zealand, so I'm really honoured to be able to have a chance to talk to you guys and find out a little bit more about what's inspired this musical journey. Before we do all of that, though, let's have some introductions for our viewers.
Yeah, for sure. Kia ora, my name's Joel. I'm the lead singer and guitarist.
My name is Ara. I'm the bass player in the band.
And my name's Miharo. I'm the keyboardist. One of the keyboardists.
Yeah, you can sing too. You can sing.
Cool. So we've just had your debut European performances, a sold-out show in Paradiso in Amsterdam and the O2 Forum in Kentish Town in London. How's it been from your perspective?
Yeah, it's been incredible, man. Like the response we got from the shows is beautiful. We've met so many fans from around the world that we had no idea we had. You know, it's just kind of cool. People coming up and from Germany, obviously the Netherlands and the UK, Scotland, but people have travelled from far and wide from Europe to come to watch us, which is really cool, and the UK. So yeah.
And the show that you did recently at the Paradiso, that is like a really iconic venue in Amsterdam. It's a 19th century church. I believe that the history with that was that it was squatted by hippies in the 60s, and then it's turned into an entertainment venue. What was it like performing at the Paradiso?
Oh, it was amazing to see pictures of that, back home, and then to actually play there. It's hard to describe the feeling when you see the people so close to you. They can touch the stage that we're on. It was a real buzz.
Yeah. I think that, the fans are loving having you over here, and I'm going to sort of describe these initial shows as almost like a taster, because I know that there's so much more to come, and I know that you guys are going to be back here in Europe doing a lot more extensive touring as well.
Yeah, man, we can't wait.
Yeah. Which songs are there in particular that you feel that the European crowd has really kind of like resonated or taken to from your collection of 5 albums?
One I've noticed that that has been going well is a song called Ain't No Use from the first album. Live, it's really energetic and there's a big guitar solo and it gets pretty heated. So yeah, that one's done some magic.
Yeah. And are there any songs that have surprised you as a band or taken you back thinking, oh wow, I didn't really feel that the crowd here in Europe would really resonate with that particular song?
Yeah, there's a country song we do called Under the Sun that kind of took us all a bit by surprise of how popular it was. So yeah, I'd have to say that one for me.
Yeah. And to celebrate the European shows, we've got a limited edition vinyl sampler, 10 tracks introducing L.A.B as well. So that's something for the fans to look out for.
Yeah, for sure. We put that together just for, like you said, like a sampler, and I didn't even know it was on the album, and I was like, oh gee, that's a good song. I'm glad they put that on there. Yep, sweet. So yeah, I'm sure our fans are really going to enjoy that.
Yeah. And you're not new to performing at sellout arenas, stadiums. We've seen some of your clips online and things, but before we get there, I want to understand a little bit about who exactly are L.A.B. How did you form? How did the band come together? Yeah,
for sure. The band started in basically 2015. I met Brad Kora, who's our drummer and producer, main songwriter as well, and we kind of hit it off, doing lots of writing together, hanging out, and then we eventually met Ara on bass, and Miharo came into the band. And the other member of the band is Stu Kora, who is Brad's younger brother. And so the band's been together now for 7 years, and it's been a hell of a journey, man. It's just, it started with playing clubs around New Zealand, 300-400 capacity, with the walls kind of sweating, and then playing that first album was some of the best memories I have of L.A.B, because it was like finally we recorded something and we were standing for something, and it was it's a really special time. But and yeah, like you said, we've been blessed to be playing in front of some serious crowds and some serious audiences, which has been one amazing journey that we're all on. So special.
And before L.A.B were formed 7 years ago roughly, were you involved in any other bands individually?
Yeah, all of us come from a vast kind of eclectic range of styles of music and bands. The Kora brothers were in a band called Kora. I happen to be in a band called Catch a Fire that tours England in these ways quite extensively. I know Joel's a large covers band kind of contingent within the band as well. So there's many different kind of projects we've all been a part of. Yeah.
And who gave birth to the name L.A.B as a band? Where's the inspiration? How did that come together?
So when the band started, before I met Brad, he was doing basically started as a project with him and his brother, and Lawton, Andy and Brad. So it was just the initials of their names. And it's kind of stuck. We haven't changed it because it just works.
It works.
And people have come up with their own funny little acronyms for it. So it's good.
Give our viewers an example of some of the acronyms that people have come up with, because I'd love to know what people are thinking L.A.B stands for.
Yeah. You can make up your own. Loud as bass, lucky as bastards. What else?
Like a boss.
Like a boss. Okay.
Nah, just whatever, man.
Cool.
Make up your own.
Cool. Your musical influences that we hear in your music, they're very eclectic. It's like a melting pot of genres. How does reggae fit in for L.A.B?
Well, a lot of us, especially through Brad, Stu and myself, we were born. We were raised on reggae and a lot of British reggae, a lot of Jamaican reggae. That has been such a cornerstone of the sound of this band, and so it's just our influences growing up. And Joel with blues and Miharo with R&B and soul. So together it's just a big melting pot, like you say, of sounds and our influences growing up.
Yeah. I mean, like when I listen to some of the more sort of reggae influenced tracks on your previous albums, it almost feels like a subgenre. It's almost like, how we have like things like Hawaiian reggae and the Cali roots. It's almost like you're creating your own genre yourselves.
Yeah, for sure, man. I suppose, like Ara was saying, with Catch a Fire and Kora being quite a heavy influence in the band, the sound of both of those bands have definitely trickled into L.A.B, and it's quite fun for us, Miharo and myself, have I would say we're new to the reggae scene and definitely listened to a lot of reggae growing up, but been introduced to some pretty cool stuff as of the last 5 or 6 years hanging out with the boys. And vice versa. I think we've probably introduced the boys into some cool stuff as well, with blues and American stuff, and so it's really fun writing reggae and then putting that kind of soul R&B twist on it, or sometimes even rock twist on it. I was brought up listening to Sting and the Police and stuff like that, and for reggae kind of stuff. So definitely that British sound, bit heavy hitting and bit rough around the edges, not so polished.
Now I know that Bob Marley, he performed only once in New Zealand in April 1979. Now, maybe you guys were too young to actually have been there at that particular concert,
right.
But I'm thinking maybe were there any sort of
Why'd you look at him?
Were there maybe any sort of like parents, family members, uncles, aunts that may have actually witnessed that performance by the king of reggae, Bob Marley?
Yeah, you don't have to ask, go back too far to know people that I know that were in attendance at that concert in '79, and the impact that show had on people in New Zealand. It was I still get kind of goosebumps, and I wasn't even there, but to know that Bob Marley, who's he's the number one, he's the king for us anyway back home, to know that he came to our country and performed a concert that united people.
Was it on Waitangi Day?
No, it wasn't on Waitangi, but it was in 1979. It was his only time in New Zealand. He's such an important figure for New Zealand reggae. That's really kind of the centre post of how New Zealand reggae sound is based on his sound.
Yeah. And I know that you sort of touched on, you mentioned sort of like UK sort of based reggae sort of bands and artists things. Give us an idea of some of the people that you guys may have been listening to growing up.
UB40, Steel Pulse, Gregory Isaacs, Musical Youth, Eddie Grant.
Wow.
So many. UB40 is a huge Peter Tosh Wailers, but UB40 was a really big band back in New Zealand with many number one hits and songs on the charts growing up. So, and yeah, I could go on.
We were lucky enough to play in Brixton the other night, and that was a buzz, man. Just doing a little acoustic set, being amongst the true Jamaican British reggae sound of this area, and it was like nothing but smiles, and just we could have stayed there all night, just listen to the DJ play all the old school beautiful music, man. And like I said, we're learning about reggae on the side of the world, being here, like being around people like Sarah and stuff who are so deep in the culture. It's so inspiring for us as well to be here.
Yeah. Now, 2017, we had the self-titled debut album, L.A.B. Since then, I feel that your output has been phenomenal. 5 albums in 5 years. It's almost like matching people like the person you just mentioned, Gregory Isaacs, because, back in the day, some of these Jamaican singers and things, they would put out albums literally like, sort of every few months and things as well. What do you think's been the key for you as a band to be putting out so much music?
We at the beginning we had a drive and a hunger, and we were playing, touring, and then recording, and it just seemed to work. We'd get inspiration from each aspect, and it was working. So we rode that, and now we've kind of taken a few years to work on this latest album, and it's been good. Since now we're touring, further distances and need a bit more recovery time.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine, because I think this year you've kind of conquered America, the Pacific, and you're here in Europe as well. So I'm thinking like, what else is L.A.B going to be doing this year?
The lawns when we get home. Yeah. It's really fun being overseas, man. We're really enjoying being on the road. It's obviously with COVID and stuff, we hadn't been able to get to Europe or the States, so this year is the start of hopefully something really big for L.A.B moving forward, like you said, coming back to Europe and the States. It's super exciting.
Yeah. Now, for me personally, I'm always very much drawn towards the more reggae-infused songs on some of your previous releases. So I'm thinking of songs like No Roots, Boy King, of course, Mr. Reggae as well.
Good call on Boy King, bro. Yeah.
You also have put out a dub album, L.A.B in dub, with the great legend himself, Paolo Baldini.
Yeah, that was a buzz, man. We sent him the stems, right, and he worked his magic, and I never forget hearing Shadows for the first time. I was like, damn, this guy knows what he's up to. Just the cool drops and the dubs. It's been real inspiring to work with him and have him put his twist on our music, for sure.
Yeah. Now, I know that every song will be different, but what is the creative process for L.A.B when you're in the studio?
It changes. Some songs it's with a hook or with a chord progression. Other times, what it really comes down to is that we all just get into a room. Quite often that's how it is, and we just jam. Our drummer and leader of the band will latch onto something, and then once he kind of tells us what he's latched onto, we all kind of focus our energy in that direction, and hopefully it leads somewhere. There's times it doesn't, but then there's those times of magic, and when the magic happens, you got to harness it, capture it, and see where it goes.
Well, I definitely think that that sound that you've created, that very unique sound, I must add, has definitely taken you to places, because it's taken you to the top of the New Zealand charts twice in 2020 with In the Air and YOY. I was doing a little bit of research, and I think that the actual song In the Air has been in the New Zealand charts for more than 190 weeks. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, right. It doesn't even have and it doesn't even have a chorus. It doesn't even have a chorus. It breaks all the rules, and I think that's why people like it. It's not necessarily about the song. It's more about the feeling that it gives. Like most music, I think most good music can vouch for that. It puts you in a nostalgic place, and when we wrote the song, recorded it, we all felt it in the moment. It was like, whoa, what's going on here? So yeah, I'm just we're blessed to have that song resonate with so many people. It's really, really special, and it's catapulted us to, so many levels that, we were dreaming of course, we were aiming for, but that was the catalyst, It was in the air. So, special track for us.
Yeah. And I think you've also done another first for New Zealand in going one step further, and you've achieved the same feat as the reggae legend himself, the Jamaican pioneer DJ toaster U-Roy, in having 3 songs in the chart positions 1, 2 and 3, which is something that U-Roy did back in 1970 with the songs Way to the Ball, The Tide is High and Wake the Town.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, no, true historian. Yeah, this is great listening to you tell that story.
Yeah. Now, in terms of forthcoming works, I know that we've had a couple of singles, Take It Away and Casanova, a cover of Casanova. This is all working towards a forthcoming album, I believe, in February 2024. Now, I'm not a mind reader, but I'm going to guess what the title of that album is. L.A.B. 6?
Yeah, Chapter 6.
Got it.
Yeah,
Chapter 6.
Yep. It's like all of these albums, I look at them like photographs of a moment in time, and this is the sixth book or sixth chapter of L.A.B. that is constantly evolving, and the plot is constantly thickening. And it's super exciting every time we get in the studio. There's stuff that we've been doing for this last 7 years that come back and we rear its head, and we work on that, or we flesh out a new idea. There is never there's never a right way of doing things in the studio for us. It always just happens. However we're feeling on the day, the week, we might write 6 songs in a week, we might write 1 chorus in 5 days, it just there's never a right or wrong. My brain's fried, sorry bro. But basically it's this last album has been really fun to record, and it's taken 2 years, and it's been important to give ourselves that time to do that, because burnout's a real thing, and us musos don't know when to stop. So I think having that 2 years to record the album has been really fun, and we've been able to sit back on some of the songs and really looking forward to people hearing this next chapter. So thanks, man.
We're definitely going to be looking forward to it in 2024. Look, I want to give you guys thanks for spending a little bit of time just introducing L.A.B. to our viewers. We're definitely going to have to do this again in more depth next year or something as well. Before we go though, a message to all the people that have supported L.A.B. over the last 6 or 7 years.
Wow, just a big thank you, I guess, and we're so stoked to be able to come to this other side of the world with your support and put on a show. If you're coming to the show tonight, get ready.
Perfect.
Yeah, massive thank you to the fans. It's the people that get us here, man. It's the ones that are listening to our songs and supporting the band. There's been people that have been supporting since day one. Our whānau, our family at home, who allow us to come out on the road like this. It's not an easy gig, and for them, and we're fortunate enough to actually have some of them on the road this time with us, which is really special. Sweet. Thank you so much to the fans.
Just blessed to be able to do this. Grateful to be in this part of the world. Thank you heaps.
Cool.
Me.
Guys, thank you so much, and I want to give a special thanks to Sarah and all the D-Vibes crew for making this connection possible as well. Without her, we couldn't have done this, so we give thanks.
Thanks so much.
Reggae interviews. Word sound power.